Hey, welcome back. This video is just going to go a little bit more in depth into the looking inside of flagging. Okay, again, this is an updated video because there is actually no more ghosting. So, we're pretty much strictly focusing on flagging now, since that is the #1 issue people are having. So, first thing, and this is an overview from the last video, is you got to remember is do not log in to post anymore. Okay. I'm finding that my posts are sticking a hell of a lot more when I don't log in to the account to actually post ads. Okay, and again, you'll see that live in the live demonstration. Okay, so another thing is making sure that your IPs are clean before posting. However, you got to minimize that chance of it being a dirty IP. Home IPs work really good, so using the MAC spoofing trick is definitely one of the most effective tools for posting locally, at least, or within your state many times. That being said, if you're using IPs outside of the state, make sure that they're minimized as much as possible. So make sure that your VPN it hasn't been banned yet by Craigslist, like HMA. And one thing I want to say, and I just realized this yesterday, is I logged back into my HMA account to post some ads just to see what was going on with it, since everybody has told me now that it's been completely useless for them in the past couple months. But I got to tell you guys, my ads went live and stayed live with HMA yesterday. So not that I am using it as a primary source of posting ads, but it really does still work as of today, and that's March 30th. So I just want to throw that out there. Again, try to stay nearby when you're logged into the IP, wherever it is. That's another thing to remember. Making sure that your ads are unique. That's probably the #1 reason I'm thinking that most people are having issues, is their ads aren't spun correctly. Again, in the next module, in the anatomy of an ad, you'll definitely see what needs to be done to an ad to make sure it passes that filter. Okay, 1 post per category per 48 hours. Please stay to that rule, guys. Don't try to break that one. That's another one. It's straight in their terms of service. It says it right before you post. Why would you ever break that rule? Okay. It's easy to get around with tons and tons of accounts, and of course my module 8, where it shows you the system that I use to post tons of ads a day. You only need to be posting 1 ad per 48 hours. So okay, we're going to get into flagging now. Common causes of flagging is the #1 reason is the duplicate content, by far and large the #1 reason. So the fact that you're trying to post the same ads over and over again is definitely probably the #1 reason why your ads are getting flagged right off the bat. Other marketers seem to be obviously the next common cause, and I want to say something about other marketers. There are groups, literal groups, dedicated to flagging ads, so you can't beat these guys, not really. We can try our best, and I can give you all my best advice on doing that, but if you get hit by one of these groups, and there's Facebook groups dedicated to this, guys, they literally just team up and they go to different areas, especially the bigger areas, and they look for specific ads with specific titles and images and special characters. They know what to look for. So the idea of blending in is the reason why I have so much success on Craigslist, because it's very hard for these guys to find me. Because I blend in to the normal job listings. I don't stand out like a marketer. So those groups usually fly right over me. Okay, but again, if you get hit by these guys, you're going to have tons of these guys hitting that flag button, so you have no defense against that whatsoever. Again, a dirty IP could be the problem. It's not typically, as long as you're following my advice in this training, that seems not to be a common cause at all, the IP address. But it is a common cause of flagging. Too many posts from an account or from the IP is another one for sure. That seems to be another issue. So don't go above 3 posts on a single account ever. Okay, that's just my recommendation. If you want to go above that, you're risking that territory. But you don't need to ever go above 3 posts on an account. I never usually go above 2. And last, and I don't know how how much this comes into play, but I do know in the old days of Craigslist, some of these things definitely had an impact on whether your ads were going live or not. And those were specific keywords that are logged into the Craigslist database that they search ads for when the spider crawls the ads, and they're the common words that usually scream scam, spam, or MLM. The things that I told you that Craigslist does not allow, they have specific words that they look for that they'll take down your ad with. So work from home, make money online, Empower Network, Project Payday, Instant Payday Network. The common big companies that are being advertised on Craigslist are stored in their database, and they scan these ads looking for those words. If you get caught with these words, you might get them up for a while, and there's a reason for this. Craigslist likes paying attention to the marketers that they're trying to get rid of. They interpret and analyze everything that you're doing so that they can come up with a new algorithm to get rid of you. So your ads will go live for a while, and then eventually you're going to log in one day and all your ads are going to be deleted, and you're going to be scratching your head like, why were they live last week but this week everything's been completely deleted? Well, it's because Craigslist finally collected enough data from you, and now they're getting rid of you. And that's how they come up with these algorithms to beat us, okay? So avoid blacklist keywords. Try to make your ads as unique as possible, and keep them generic, but don't make it look like a big work from home opportunity is my biggest suggestion, okay? Try to blend into the job categories if that's where you're posting. Real estate doesn't really have this type of issue a lot. Other categories, small business, business for sale, those categories don't have this issue. But if you're posting in the jobs categories, yeah, you're going to have this issue, and these are things to definitely watch out for. Okay. There is a way to diagnose who is flagging your ads. It's actually really, really simple. If you get an email notification in your inbox that says that this ad has been flagged and marked for removal, that means a flagger, a marketer, your competition, somebody on Craigslist hit that button. Enough people hit that button to take you down, okay? So whether it was 2, 5, however many people, that just means your ad copy was too scammy looking, or they went to your landing page or whatever the link is that you're sending them to, wherever that you're sending this traffic to, and they seen that page, and that page was too scammy or spammy, and then they went back and reported the ad. So that's how you know if you're getting flagged by other people on Craigslist. If you do not get any type of email whatsoever, that means Craigslist deleted your ad. And nowadays, since there's no more ghosting, they auto deleted it right away, before the ad even went live. When it was in that holding filter, they found something in that ad that they didn't like, and they auto-deleted your ad before it even went live. You will not get an email from Craigslist from that. So that's how you know who's deleting your ads. Also, eventually Craigslist could do this in the future as well. They may let that ad go live for whatever reason, the first time around, and then you may log in one day and just start renewing ads. And then, one day you'll find out that it was deleted and you didn't get an inbox message saying that a user deleted it. That just means Craigslist caught on to something in that ad. Because even when you hit renew on ads, even though, almost 99% of the time they do go live because they passed the filter the first time. And if you don't change anything in that ad, then when you're renewing ads, if you don't change anything at all, that means that it will definitely go live again. But if you're posting another ad on that day that resembled that ad, let's say you forgot, because you're renewing ads, you don't know what ad copy. You can't keep track of all your ad copy that's floating around out there, especially when you're renewing ads. And let's say you posted a couple new ads today. What would happen is that whatever ad that you posted today, if it didn't pass the duplicate content filter based on some of your renewed ads on the same day, that is how that happens. That means that Craigslist caught on to a new post and one of your renewed posts and deleted both of them is what just happened. And probably anything that resembles it at all. So you might get both deleted, or you may get, several dozen deleted at the same time because you weren't careful enough to monitor your renewed ads versus your new posts. So That's one reason why a lot of people get multiple flags or multiple deletes on the same day, even though last week they were doing fine with them. So that's that, guys. That's pretty much everything with how to diagnose flagging. So now let's talk about how to create an anti-flag barrier, your best defense against flaggers, basically. So this is not against Craigslist, this is against flaggers, okay? So the one thing that we can kind of control is Craigslist. Being able to get through the Craigslist algorithm is one thing that's completely within our control. This, however, other people is entirely out of our control, but there are defenses we can put up to minimize our chances of getting flagged by other people. So, the number one thing I gotta say is use the appropriate category, guys. That's the number one thing. It's really simple. Just post in a place where your ad will fit in. So, if you're marketing, a business opportunity or something, don't put that, in the labor gigs or something. I don't know. Labor gigs do work very well for certain things, but you got to be careful because people in there are looking for literal labor gigs. Like they're looking to do work today. They need money today. So when they see something like a work from home opportunity, they're going to be pissed off. This is my point. Again, you wouldn't throw just understand. Look, if you're there, even when it comes down to sales and customer service, as related as they may sound to the job seeker, they're completely different. They're entirely different entities, and certain people will get pissed off when they see certain types of job posts in the sales category and not in the customer service or vice versa. So try to match your category and your offer as best as possible, or at least your ad copy and titles as best as possible to the categories, so that people aren't flagging you off of Craigslist immediately. The next thing that you should be doing is the 40 plus trick. And the 40 plus trick is really, really simple. It's opening the tab or the window 40 times or more before it goes live. And what I'm talking about is the Craigslist link that you were given once your ad was verified and posted, and Craigslist says, congratulations, here's your live ad. Of course, it's not live yet. It takes 1 to 3 hours now. That link you want to open up 40 or more times before it goes live, before it shows up in the listings. What the theory behind this is, and it works, trust me, anybody who uses this trick will tell you that their stick rate boosts dramatically using this trick here. What the theory behind it is there's a ratio, okay, of the amount of the times that the ad has been seen versus how many flags are against it. Okay, so basically your ad will be seen, quote, seen, and it doesn't matter if you're doing this all from the same IP address. For whatever reason, it does not matter. Craigslist doesn't track it like that. They just track how many times the ad's been viewed. So, if it's been viewed more than 40 times, now when I do this, I open it anywhere between 40 to 75 times, and that may sound tedious to you. Like, who the hell wants to do that for every single link? Guys, when you see me do this live, you'll see how fast I can do this. It takes nothing, 10 seconds, 15 seconds at most to open up this many tabs for a single link. Okay, it takes no time. So don't worry about that. It's not as tedious as it sounds. But again, back to the theory behind it is there's a ratio. Now I don't know what the ratio is, but versus how many times the ad's been seen versus how many flags it has on it. So if your ad's been seen over 40 times before the ad has even been viewable to the public, and let's say somebody comes in and flags you, Craigslist is going to say, hey, look, 50 or so people already clicked on this link and nobody reported it, and then this one guy is out there flagging. Chances are he's probably just an angry competitor or just a mistake or whatever, and they're going to overlook it. And you might get away with 1 or 2 flags that way. If it goes beyond 2 flags, chances are you're going to get flagged off of Craigslist, unless of course you opened it 100 or more times. I don't even know, but the theory is that there's a ratio there, and Craigslist balances it out versus how many people are actually viewing it and not complaining versus the complaints that are being reported against it. I think once you get 3 flags on an ad, it doesn't really matter how many times people viewed it. Once you get 3 complaints, I think they're gonna go under review of your ad and they're gonna take it off. Okay. Another thing that you can use are called anchors, which we'll get into later. But basically, an anchor is using a paid city listing. You just go to a paid city, grab the URL of the ad, and drop that at the very, very bottom of your ad. And when the Craigslist spiders crawl the page, they'll read that and they'll leave you alone based on the fact that they're relating your ad to a paid offer. That being said, this doesn't work in the free categories anymore, because there's no live clickable links, so they can't actually read the link. It only works when you're doing this in paid cities, and therefore it doesn't really matter anymore. So that type of anchor is pretty much useless now. But there is another type of anchor that I use, and these are called, I call them, modified anchors or text anchors. And basically what this is, and of course you'll see this in more depth in the later module in the anatomy of an ad, is random text at the bottom of your page, which just boosts your chances of passing the duplicate content filter. Okay, so that's a modified anchor, but that really doesn't help against flaggers. So I put that in here because anchors are still useful in paid cities because it's actually called bridging, where if you paid for one ad, one ad to go live, you can actually bridge other ads to that same ad. So if you have one paid city listing in New York and you had another one in California, Miami, whatever, you can drop that anchor at the bottom of all those ads and they'll all be linked to each other, which is called bridging, and that helps dramatically with your stick rate. And so anchors are pretty cool in that sense. The next thing, and the most effective thing against other flaggers, is turning their own ammunition against them. So as I said, 3 flags on a specific ad pretty much means that you're going to be flagged off of Craigslist. Like, there's no chance of surviving except if you had 3 best ofs. And there's a little heart at the bottom of our ads, and it's just called best of, and it means like you think this is one of the best ads in the category that it's been placed on Craigslist. And Craigslist marks that in their database, and once 3 or more of those have been accumulated on a single ad, you're pretty much invincible. Okay, that being said, they have to be completely different IP addresses that are doing this. Now you can do that yourself, and I gotta warn you that takes a lot of time to do. Not really, but if you were doing this on every single ad that you posted, trust me, it does take a lot of time. Because what you would have to do is log out, run CCleaner, connect to a brand new IP, log back in, you'd have to copy that link into a notepad, of course, copy paste that into your browser and best of, and then rinse and repeat that process 3 more times for one ad. Now you have to do that for every single ad. So opening a window 40 times may seem really, really long and tedious, but the fact of the matter is it takes 15 seconds or less to do that. To actually best of your own ad from 3 different IPs actually does take well over a minute for one single ad. So multiply that by 8 ads a day or more, you're talking about 10-15 minutes of just best ofing your own ads, which of course you can do if you have the time. That's completely optional. However, if you bought the upgrade or the black box, you have access to the Facebook Mastermind group, and in that group, of course, we are best ofing each other's ads in there. So, if you got that, you guys got access to that. So, otherwise, you can best of your own ads. That's like one final last resort against flaggers. That's if you're having a whole lot of issues with your ads getting flagged, and that's generally in really high traffic areas where a lot of marketers are. So especially in California and stuff like that. Okay, and the last but not least, and I gotta drill this back, drive this home as much as I can, is just blend in as much as possible. Do not try to stand out. Therefore, flaggers might just pass right over you anyway. And again, that goes back to using the appropriate category. So that's my tips for avoiding flagging at all costs from other marketers and other people on Craigslist that may manually flag out your ads. Okay guys, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.